This is your daily market recap for Monday, May 2nd, 2022. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for May 2nd, 2022. Let's get into it. If you have any questions about this video, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. There's also recommended reading if you're learning to trade, some books that I highlighted in the description as well. First things I want to talk about is at this point in the market, it was definitely oversold. But one of the things that I noticed today, which seemed very odd, it was that it was a very complacent bottom. I know the VIX spiked, but I didn't see panic selling. And when I see panic selling, I mean like stocks that you follow and love down 5, 10, 15 points, just all getting blown out. And one of the things that I look for, again, doesn't say that this couldn't be the bottom and come back later, but I want to see capitulation. I want to see fear. I know the VIX was high, but that just didn't feel capitulatory, you know? I want to see Apple down 10 or 15 points. I want to see Amazon down a couple hundred points. I want to see Tesla getting murdered. Like, you didn't see any of that today. You saw some strength and weakness, or strength and tech kind of pop its way up very early on, and I'm not really trusting it. So at this point, we'll get into charts. Why? Stick around, grab your coffee, and let's get into this because this is going to be interesting. Again, check out Twitter. I'm also posting my alerts as well as the alerts in the Discord room. There's tons of stuff on the side channels. Just get acclimated with everything, and I guarantee you'll pick up on this quickly. Bitcoin, you know, I'm kind of hazing on it, but I just don't really see much going for it. If it breaks the trend line, going to 35,000, breaks goes to 30, breaks 35, going to 30. At this point, there's not any volume, there's not any really conviction, you know, and unfortunately at this point in the trend, it really feels retail bound. Like, everybody who's pumping Bitcoin's very retail, and Bitcoin's known for big corrections. So that's where I feel like if Bitcoin's really bottoming, I want to see it blow everybody out, because that would make sense to me. Think about it. You know, if Bitcoin has big corrections typically during its cycles, that action and then chop, it feels like there's another leg down. Keep in mind, like, this could be a left shoulder, right shoulder, and a head complex. At this point, not really too interested in it. There's so many things out there going on that are worth talking about, and let's do it. The bond market. Now, here's something that's very interesting, because a lot of people, I don't think, realizes that the bond market, there was a big short in the SPY, and then also people were buying bonds as the hedge, naturally, because they thought deflation, they thought everything that happened in the Ukraine would be very temporary, meaning that it would be like a short-lived war. It'd be something that would just come and go. All right, clearly not. It's been going on for whatever 60 days now. This action today, gap down, this is a little bit of what I potentially think could be, maybe, this is what's hard, the 200 month. I mean, we haven't seen the 200 month on the TLT. I can't even remember that. So keep that in mind. 3%. Everybody's talking about 3%, 3% on the 10-year. Haven't seen that in a long, long, long time. Let's just keep everything in relative. Now, again, stretching something out like this, is it interesting that you see the market and bonds at lows? Like, that is, something's got to give here. The bonds got to rally, or the market's going to tank more. And so we'll keep it in mind. I'm going to switch on some coffee. Think about that for a second. Think about what the bond market's showing us. Inflation. Stocks really hate inflation. Again, they can chop around. Go look at the 70s and 80s. You just get a lot of volatility, because eventually the wages will come up. But the cost to replace things just continues to rise, and it really hurts as people, you know, get squeezed. They don't have the margins. So, not margins, they don't have the cash. I mean, literally, think about it. People are living paycheck to paycheck everywhere. And so if you raise prices on things, ooh, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And so at this point with the bond market, you know, watch this gap. I always say the first move in a trap is the side being trapped. Is the bond market setting a, I guess you could call it a bear trap? Yeah, and then pop up and rates go lower. We shall see. Zadala, we talked about it hitting the monthly trend line. Now, again, welcome to the party. You saw it, thought it might back off. Well, notice today, it held up pretty damn good. That's all I'm really going to say on it. The dollar could be getting stronger. If it breaks out of that channel going up, uh-oh, spaghetti-o, the VIX, Talked about the VIX today and hitting our trend line. Hold on. I mean, I posted this on Twitter. Check that out, y'all. I mean, perfect touch. Just seems too easy. Too easy. I don't trust it. Higher, low, higher, low, higher, low, higher, low. Man, I think we're going to get up into this capitulatory 48 to 50 level. When? I don't know. Let's get into the SPY. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's get into the SPY, and I think you'll maybe see why I think that. And again, think about today's action. Like, it was very coordinated. The Monday after, everybody's bearish on the weekend. But everybody I know is sitting out here putting, buy the dip, buy the dip. You got to buy the dip. You got to buy the dip. That mentality of buying the dip, if this is a bear market, they're going to get shredded. Because keep in mind, bears and bulls also, everyone gets shredded in a bear market. Like, that's just what happens. So at this point, I mean, I think you can probably connect that and say, you need to hold this lower trend bound. I know it went below it temporarily, but one day doesn't make a trend, right? We say that all the time. Well, what is the base case scenario at this point? Was this like a bear trap? Clearly, that's how they painted it. No one's going to argue that. But I don't trust this action. Again, like, I want to see massive pain, and just didn't see it. And so we'll see what happens. Because you have a channel, like, say, could it go back to channel high? That'd be an awesome place to check out and see what happens if it gets up there. But at this point, oversold rally. Remember, the Feds are coming up Wednesday. I mean, does it get back to like the 420s? Anything's possible. I mean, keep in mind, the Fed meeting is a way to destroy both sides and accuse. Keep it simple, y'all. We took out the lows. We closed back at the range lows. This has been the laggard. This thing sucks, meaning that it technically looks damaged. You are below the 20-month. Just don't forget that. When you start getting super uber bullish and you think this is going to be the next bull market run, remind yourself that the 20-month has to be taken out before you confirms. Because at this point, anything is just, it could be dead cat rally, dead cat bounce. I mean, we talked about this in the market. I can't remember if it's Thursday or the weekend recap, but what did we say? So here, this is a good example of capitulation off the high. This was in April to remember, because this went 110 down to 60. That's the puking action I'm looking for. And then what happened? We rally back to fail later. We are not even close to puke action. Look at look now. Go look at today's action or this month. That doesn't look like a monthly puke it, lose your lunch, lose your dinner, alcohol poisoning, puke. That just doesn't look like it. So in my mind, I'm anticipating just at this point, the market probably rises into the Feds, whatever the Feds are going to say. At this point, they're kind of stuck. You got negative GDP. You've got jobs. You have unemployment at 3.5%. Like, they can't go much lower. Keep in mind, Friday jobs number as well. So in your mind, what are you thinking? You have to think that both sides are going to be a trap. So if you are going to trade this market, please play extremes. Do not chase the action. If you chase the action, come by the Discord room. I will slap you on the wrist and tell you never to do it again, because then you'll realize, stop chasing. Chasing is just the way to get your butt kicked. IWM, again, took out the lows, been lagging. We always say that IWM should be leading. It was leading up, and then it failed first in November, and then looks like crap. Same kind of game here. Unfortunately for the bulls, look at the IWM back under the 20-month. Now, again, could it do this? Like, that was, keep in mind, COVID was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of flash crash, in the sense of, like, China created this panic that ultimately led people to freak out. Now, again, we'll learn, but look back in the future and say, okay, maybe we overreacted. But that's what happened. I mean, going into election. So call it is what it is. So anyway, where we're at with the IWM, it doesn't look strong. Where could it rally back to trend line? Maybe the 20-day. Again, be careful being bullish. Like, you can be bullish here. I'm trying to say neutral. I'm just looking at probabilities. Like, if you are a swing trader, you're looking for short ops. If you're a scalper and day trader, then you're playing both ways. Just be aware that you need to find extremes. Gold, we talked about, again, my charts are a little different on this computer. We talked about filling the gap and then having to hold the highs from November. You did that today with the doji indecision. I'm really at this point thinking to myself, everybody loves gold. Everybody, I mean, I'm just amazed that people don't look at the seasonality and they don't look at the sentiment. And one of the things that you need to see for gold bugs to really get wiped out, and again, gold bugs are like brothers and sisters, because I'm been in that camp where I've gotten smoked too. When you hit the 2011 highs, you backed off. What did we say? Look at this. Again, do you want to trade it? Feel free to. Feel free to. If you want to play the bounce going into the Feds, do I trust it? I just don't, because I think the Feds are running into negative GDP that's only going to accelerate. And at a certain point, there will be this liquidation break. And this liquidation break, I promise you, when it happens, again, I don't know, it's going to take gold down. And that's when I'm going to go, thank you very much. Come to me. And it's going to be drink your milkshake. Silver, same thing. Get down into the buy zone. I'm glad it popped. I mean, it was oversold. I mean, every day last week, every day since the high, it's like, buy silver, buy silver, buy silver. And it's like, no, don't buy silver. Buy physical if you can get it cheap. No arguments there. Never. Now look, bouncing back. It held the range, closed above it. Good for them. I want to see a retest at some point. I know silver is I would call it, again, this is from the guy's perspective, a crazy ex-girlfriend. One that you're just never surprised of what she would do. And you were just dumb enough to date her. Well, that's what silver is sometimes. It literally goes all over the place. And as soon as you feel comfortable, she yanks your confidence and pulls your heart out and throws it on the ground and stomps it. And that's what silver does. And I mean, it did it down here in December and January. Like, come on, wake up, silver. And then went straight higher. At this point, again, wait. Confirmation. Now, again, it's probably overdue to bounce. Perfect. But please don't be that person who has to like go all in on the first drop. I hate that. You get murdered so many times. GDX, we talked about this, posted this, hit the 0.618, closed over the 100-day. Looks fine. Now again, oversold. Back testing trend line, not surprised. I would like, now again, this is me being me, sometime later this summer, we back test both of these trend lines. That would be the most gargantuan, obvious, easy answer. Buy. At this point, just be safe. Be safe. GDXJ made a low, gapped up, maybe looks like a little bear trap. But again, the volumes aren't there. I mean, nobody's planting their flag for metals before the Fed meeting. Like, just nobody is. I mean, it's just oversold rally. It's people who are short covering and people who keep, I mean, I'm literally seeing people already call for quantitative easing to start again. The Feds won't do that. They don't move fast. Think of them as like a super tanker. They move slow to react unless the ship is sinking. At this point, the ship isn't sinking. The market isn't tanking in the sense that it's going to zero fast. AG had an alert come up for 980 today. Buy zone. Anything down here. I mean, I like it long term down here, but don't pull that back. Jesus. I'd like to see it pull back to these trend lines. I mean, we've said this, 8, 9, even 7 would be amazing. Will we get there? Not guaranteed. Not guaranteed at all. We'll see. AEM, where are you, my friend? I need to keep these better in order. It's this easy, Dan. AEM had great earnings, pulled back, held the 200-day. Perfect. That's a good trade. I would get on that. I didn't get on it. Meaning, like, I can see why someone would clearly take that and bounce. Nice trading if you got that. Let's get into PAAS. Yeah, let's move these in order. Numbnuts. Here you go. Back testing, filled some gap area. Just oversold. I mean, it literally looks like all the other silver miners. Let's get into Newmont real quick. And the one that, and this is to me where I think if you really want miners to live and die, look what happened today. It hit the trend line. Hit the channel low. Again, look at the volume. Wasn't that aggressively bought. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think it can fill this gap at 74, and then I don't trust these guys. I apologize to people who are like, oh, you got to get down on Newmont. I'm like, nah, no, I don't. X, we sold this on the 200-month. I'm not going to show you again. Actually, fine, I'll show you. There's the 200-month in blue. Let me put a circle so that when I get to this next time, it's like, can't miss it. We said now would back off. Look at that, 10 points into our potential buy zone. The only problem is I don't get excited about buying stocks when there's not capitulation. Like, it felt like very easy for options makers to like let people buy calls today. It didn't feel capitulatory where it just blew everybody out and then rallied back in like 5 minutes. That's the kind of shit that blows people out. And you call buyers can't buy them because they're expensive. No, this felt like very like buddy pass. Like, hey friend, hey buddy, hey pal, why don't you buy some calls? I'm gonna buy some calls. I'll sell you some calls. Go right ahead, sir. Like it just seemed way too friendly, and that's not how the market is. The market's like ruthless and murderous, and when it seems very friendly, I don't trust it. I just don't trust it. VALE, we talked about this. It was going to come back down into the prayer level maybe, and it bounced. Look what it did. Bounced and failed. At this point, just let it play out. It could be choppy and sloppy. That's trading, folks. I mean, unless you think everything goes up in a straight line. It just doesn't work like that. CCJ. Here where we were, your homie in the 31s. It got even up to 32. We said you got to take profit. Got to take profit or profit's going to get taken. Just keep in mind where we're at, though. We broke the trend line. Now, again, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going lower. Or this channel. I mean, it could be a bull trap, but be selfish. 32, 30, or sorry, 20, 22, 23 range. That would be the capitulation that would get me off the sidelines. At this point, I just tell people I'm not that interested in this stuff. I know, you got to trade no. You know what? The best trading that I do sometimes is not trading. And people can't understand that. It's just, hey, I'm just going to watch. I'm going to let everyone else try to be the first one to the party. I'm going to roll in when it's time to party. And when it is, it might be not so good because you might be already drunk and puking. And that's where the market maker is going to test your conviction absolutely every time. Mosaic, we said this was a good area to probably bounce and hold. I don't want to buy it, though, because what am I looking for? I'm waiting for down here. I'm just waiting. Waiting. I can't wait. Yeah, whatever. CF, same thing. Holding the 50-day. I mean, it's just like hanging on. So look at this channel low. I mean, you get it down in the 80s. Again, put this in your notes. Check it out. Hey, Tech, congratulations. You rallied today. You were so oversold and just look like crap. AMD chopping. Maybe it gets up to the 20-day. I know they have their earnings coming up. What day is it? It's tomorrow afternoon, right before the Fed. So I'll be looking for a pop and flop to short back more shares. At this point, it's not worth messing with. I mean, you could buy calls to hedge, definitely. Apple broke the 200-day. Oh, look at this long wick. Everyone's so excited. It's like, let's see what happens. Because, I mean, ultimately, you have to think in your brain, Apple doesn't really look right. And if you can't admit that to yourself, let's see what the closing. And if you don't think it does, like, let's zoom out. What do we notice? Lower highs right here. You got lower lows. Is a lower low coming? I don't know, but this is a monster chop zone. Keep in mind, though, again, Apple, nice and smooth for years, and then we straight line up. $3 trillion company. I mean, again, they better initiate that buyback as soon as possible. I mean, it's just one of those things where I don't trust it because I know there's 30-40% corrections in the stock. I've seen them. I've seen it. Samsung, I've seen it. Here was one. Went from, 82 down to 50. Here was one. Went from 58. I mean, can keep these in splits to 35. So you do the percentages. They're 20, 30, 40% drops. Are we there yet? No. I don't trust it. Again, you do you, but just be careful. Overtrading is going to get you caught at some point. MicroStrategy said it's leading Bitcoin. Is it not? Look at this. The Bitcoin was at the channel low. This is leading. Beware. Ten cuidado, mi amigo. Ten cuidado. Roblox, it popped up today, which was interesting because I saw this on my radar in green. I mean, it wasn't really red at all today. It gapped down. Oh, sorry, these candles got so small. It gapped down and then just went wink, closed at the highs. I like it. Looks all right, actually. I mean, I'm not sitting here going, it's time to buy it big time, but I don't know. Let's get into Facebook because this is one that I got stopped out of. I recently shorted Facebook. Where are you? Where did you go? Facebook. Why did I just miss it? Is it in here? Let's add it. Let's get rid of Airbnb because no one trades Airbnb, actually. I apologize for this delay. Not FN. What is FN? Fabrinet? Interesting. Yeah, so we were talking about shorting up here. It did, and it bounced, and it closed back up above the high. So what's the play here? You stopped out. You stopped out. Now you can always get back in. You know, we played this range, and again, you can use the high of today, but it just feels very obvious now that at some point, maybe Facebook pops even more. Now, again, does it mean that like long term this is the best buy? No, I think this thing is an absolute turd waiting to get flushed. However, that doesn't mean near term that it can't pop. I mean, people just don't realize that in bear markets or stocks that are acting bearish, they can rally pretty strong. Keep in mind, we talked about this. Hit the 100-month, could it bounce? Possibly. I will be looking to hunt. We'll be hunting the short on this, and so just keep that in mind. Tesla, this again, Tesla wasn't down much today. I mean, it opened and it closed back up at the 200-day. People were talking about shorting it, and it's like, just leave it alone. But I will say this. Keep this in mind. Like, near term, it's oversold. Look at the big red candle. Look at this big whackle with wicks. Hit the backside of the trend line. Now it's just chopping. Pick your poison. If you want to short it, here, I'll draw it for you. Something like that, you know. Wait for big pops. And if you miss your short opportunities, this is the best thing about trading. Let it go. Don't chase. Again, you can scalp very quickly if you want, but I don't want to use my mental energy to chase things. And I have been burned a bazillion times. Because say you chase this up and then the next day the Feds open the can of whoop ass on the market, then you're done. You're wiped out. And people who buy calls, they get wiped out from this stuff constantly because they can't control their emotions. Penn gaming, get over the 20-day. It's really that simple. EXPI had a pretty solid day today. I noticed it gapped down and opened up. I know the brokerage is really trying to get digital currencies for trading and buying homes. That would be a big deal. Again, I don't know the sustainability of all the digital currencies. I don't know who wins. But EXP is like opening the can for that. Should be interesting. UTHR. It's very technical. You would like to have seen it hit 174, but here's an example again. Here's a stock where the market's, VIX is spiking, market's tanking, supposedly this morning. This thing barely even budges. Again, there's so many signs. Let's end it on, as we always do, with the XOP in Exxon Mobil. We talked about this hitting this little trend line. It bounced, and it's still holding the 50-day. It looks all right. I mean, at this point, the longer you hold the 50, the more likely the 20-day comes into play. Just have that in mind. I took a little bit of a drip off this morning because I didn't see it hold. I apologize I didn't post it, but by the time I posted, it's like I don't want people to follow me because what if I'm wrong? If I can't make it the announcement live, I'll just keep you posted of what I'm doing. But watch the levels. That's what the videos are for. I always tell people, watch the freaking levels. At this point, Exxon Mobil, same kind of thing. We said it has to break the 20-day, and it didn't. Because if the 20-day break the 50-day, well, all I do is see is lower high, lower high, lower high. At this point, you got to be careful. You got to be careful with all this stuff. I don't know what to tell people. They can't look back to the left and go, wow, look at that sloppy, choppy mess. No, it has to move in V's. It has to move in straight lines. No, that's not how the market works, man. If you are trading a stock and you don't know its history and how it acts, stocks have personalities, just like we talked about earlier. Silver is your crazy ex-girlfriend, or maybe for, the women listening, their crazy ex-boyfriend, who you're like, man, he's super hot, but he just is insanely stupid. That's silver. Exxon Mobil is your slow grandfather that plays with your, tell stories and just long-winded, and you're like, get to the point. Well, here you go. Get to the point. Let it wedge out. That's literally what's going on. So if you have questions, stop by the Discord room. Again, please read the recommended reading stuff, because if you're in the Discord room and you're asking questions and literally the books are full of answers with charts and everything, when I answer these questions, they're going to pop in your brain versus, well, Dan just told me this. Well, what does that mean? You don't have any reference. You have to study the past. And that's the thing. The irony of trading is that people watching the present moment do not learn as well as the people who study the past. Because everybody who's watching isn't getting rich. The people who study the past, the repeating patterns, the history, those are the ones who are learning. Staring at the current actions, like watching a TV show and remembering parts of it, and you don't know. Studying the past when it's static, that's what's so crucial. All right. Hope you guys and gals have a great day. Hit me up if you have questions. I hope people are going to be safe. Keep in mind, the first move in a trap is the side being trapped. So if the market is rising into the Feds, be aware of bull trap.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, a PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.